Hello, welcome to Shinobi Soldiers. My name's Anthony Cummins and this is episode 5. What is a ninja's job? Okay, sounds like a simple question, but reality-wise, what is a ninja's job? Now when we think of ninja, as we've gone over in the past, it's a 1,000-year history with lots of sub-specializations, so you can't really say what is the fundamental job of a ninja, because it would be different in many different periods of history and for many different types. So what I've done is I've listed together like a Shinobi CV, if you will, a resume for those in America, and to say what would be fundamental to the archetypal ninja. So these are the skills that you would need to be an archetypal type ninja. Okay, so I'm going to read them out for you here. First of all, we've got fundamental needs, what you would need at your core base. And you would need bushcraft. You'd be able to survive in the wilderness without any problems whatsoever, on mountains, keeping warm, shelter. You'd need to be Raymir's standard bushcraft. Then you'd have to be proficient in swimming, lots of swimming techniques, underwater diving, maybe free diving, that type of thing, to be able to do half the things that they need to do. On top of that, an interesting one, you'd need basic chemistry, and chemistry is in getting chemicals from the natural environment and then using them for explosives, things like that, all that type of thing. So you'd have to have a basic understanding of chemistry. Herbal law, straight away, you'd need a lot of the herbal law to go on with all the things that would tie in with bushcraft and really medical problems you have out there and anything you need in that way. Now, surprisingly, you would actually need to have the same skills as a tourist guide, because it says in the Shoninki you need the skill where you need to know the existence and customs of 60 provinces. So imagine a tourist guide knowing about the 60 state areas around you and being able to tell you the major points of them, what goes on, who works there, who lives there, who's in charge, what's happened politically. Now the reason they have that is because they have to blend into many different provinces and actually pretend they're from provinces they're not. So I put it as a tourist guide. They've got to have that type of information. Of course, psychology, straight down, the psychology involved. You read the Shoninki in Volume 3 really goes into the psychology that you need. On top of that, arson skills, you've got to be able to set fire to things. And lastly, under the fundamental, you need to have the ability of theft. You've got to be a good thief, because that's what they started off as. Now the line between thief and ninja is very thin, so thief not for personal gain, but thief for the Lord's needs. Right, second set of skills would be infiltration. Now you'd have to be able to work undercover. You'd have to be able to work behind enemy lines with no problems. It's very spy-ish. You've got to be able to get on with it under stress, blend in, use your tourist guide information, and just generally blend into the system and 100% be there and not look out of place. Now, you've also got to have police-style investigation or interrogation methods. So what I'm talking about is questioning. You've got to be able to run conversations. This again, Volume 3 from the Shoninki. The conversation skills needed are immense, and you've got to pretend to be stupid to get them to follow in and give away what they need, and leading questions, open questions. It talks about that type of thing. And of course, con artistry. You've got to be a con man. If you're an actual spy, you've got to be a con man. Otherwise, you know, you're not going to do your job. So afraid that's what it is. Now on top of that, you need camouflage work. You've got to have a basic of camouflage. We can go to the Katori Shinto Ryu and their powder and that type of thing. There's that there. You've got to be able to work in teams under darkness. You've got to be able to work in teams successfully and have passwords. You've got to be able to break and enter successfully and understand locks and systems and open and break in them. And then finally we've got philosophical needs. Now the philosophical needs, if you've got to have a deep understanding of Zen, Esoteric Zen, all that type of stuff, Kuji-In, Kuji-Kiri of course, then ritual magic. Believe it or not, Shoninki is full of ritual magic. It's also full of palmistry, palm reading, divination, that type of thing. So you've got ritual magic, palmistry, and cold reading. You've got to be able to read from people what they're saying. Now what we do have as well, which I didn't have a clue about till I read it, was the physiognomy, which is actually the skill of reading someone's character from their face. Now this was an ancient world technique, and many people put it out during the Victorian era, but it's actually coming back now, and they've done some re-studies on it, and they're saying from your personal appearance they can tell your type of personality traits and things like that. So generally, I've gone through what documents I've been through, and they are the basic areas that you need to be a decent ninja.